Alright, Motorman here. I'm going to tell you about some of the things I've added to the motorcycle since I last posted a video. Some of it's a repeat of it, but I didn't give you the whole story. For instance, I'm going to start here, and this is pretty funny, with the docking hardware. This docking hardware right here. Now, I went on the internet on YouTube, and I happened to find somebody had a post of how to install that. So it looks very simple when you get it out of the box. In fact, it came already together the way it should be. And the one they were showing on YouTube is the actual Harley part. And on YouTube it shows this piece mounting outside here. So you have two bolts that go in. This mounts on the outside. And then the Harley piece, the tour rack right here, that would go on top of it. So I go to mount this, and there's no way those two bolts are going to fit. I went to Home Depot and a couple of places trying to find the longer bolts, at least 1.5 inches longer, and finally I said, well, I couldn't find them, so I went and wrote an email to the person selling it on, I think it was Amazon, and said, hey, you got to send me the correct bolts. These bolts are too short. And the next day we got an email back, and my wife actually got it. She read it out. She said, you know, read instruction. You read instruction, work much better, Yankee dog. So, okay, I exaggerate a little bit, but not much. That's pretty much what they sent back. So I went and I actually then got the instructions, which I didn't think I'd need since there's only two bolts, and I already saw it on YouTube. And I realized that this docking hardware doesn't go on the outside. It goes on the inside of this little slot, and then the two bolts that they give you with it fit just fine. So the moral of the story is, yeah, you want to avoid reading instructions, but sometimes before sending an email to somebody, you might want to read them just to make sure you don't look like an idiot. Anyway, a lot of people mentioned the snap ties that I had holding the license plate on. That was just because that one particular day we wanted to ride the bike. I was going to use it in the video, so I snap tied it on there. I now have a regular bracket, which was mounts behind this bar right here, and it was a nightmare to get on. I mean, it finally went on. It took two people. Yeah, I had to ask my wife to come and help, and you know, guys, how that goes when you ask the wife. Sometimes you're saying, geez, this is really hard. Should I aggravate myself further by having my wife help me? Okay, so I had no choice. So she actually did help. It took us about a freaking hour to get this on here because of the radius of the fender and the holes in the mounting plate. They should have been slots rather than holes because they didn't line up perfectly. I had to drill it out. It was just a nightmare. It was a 2-hour ordeal just to get that plate mount on there. And then I know I have those little red reflectors you screw in there. I probably got 50 of them. I looked in my shed, which I have over there, a giant shed I keep stuff in, as well as my 3-car garage here and my 2-car garage on the other side of the house, and could not find, you know how that is, couldn't find any of those reflectors. So I'm going to have to go out to the store and buy them. But anyway, I got the docking hardware. That's the tour pack you see right there. That I think it was like $65 off of eBay, brand new, works perfectly. Like I said, they probably make this stuff in China, but I think the Harley stuff also comes from China or Taiwan or someplace, so it works fine. Had to make that one little modification, simply added a washer in here to get it to fit not quite so tight. And I'll show you this. I have this Harley side bag mounted. I don't use this for storage. What this is I keep in here is the amplifier for the Siren, which I can't open right now because I forgot I snap tied that. But anyway, the amplifier goes in here. That's why I have this on here, and that allows me to use the Siren and mainly the air horn. We use the sirens when we're doing our shows. We'll blast the siren a few times to get people over, but the main thing I want to use this for, and why I have it, because they're an expensive deal. I bought this one used, but new. It's, I think, $500 for the Whelen Siren air horn, and then another $400 just for the amplifier. But anyway, here's the reason I use this. I'm going to let you hear this. It's going to be loud. I like that loud horn. I've tried air horns before that you can buy and put on the bike. In fact, I have a couple of them sitting in the garage that I no longer use because I have the Siren and air horn. but they're not near as loud as this. Oh, let me tell you about the paint deal. I was going to paint that old tour pack that I had. I had it sanded and ready to go, and I got this paint. And what I did was I went to the auto parts store and I got a color that I thought looked like it matched pretty well. Walked outside, put the cap against the bike, and yeah, I said this looks pretty good, not realizing that this is actually a peel coat paint. Peel coat is it's like a plastic coat, and it doesn't have any shine to it no matter what you do. So anyway, I just to see for the hell of it how it would match up, I painted this as a CD cover plastic. I sanded it a bit and I painted it with the peel coat, and actually it's way too light. It's at least a shade and a half too light to paint that tour pack with, which, by the way, I'm not using the old tour pack. I purchased another Razor tour pack, one like this, about 200 bucks. I think I got it on eBay, and I went to Amazon first, but the same exact thing was 30 bucks more at Amazon with free shipping. This was from eBay, 200 bucks with free shipping. So I've got one of these coming. It's in gloss black. I'm going to have to sand it all down, and I really went for the big bucks. My wife said, don't be a cheap bastard, get the right paint. So I did. I went on the internet and I found this company, Custom Cans, and they make the exact, supposed to be the exact duplicate color. This happens to be a 3-stage. You have to paint it with the base, then you have to paint it with another color that deepens or lightens it up, and then you have to use clear coat. So altogether, I spent on this, let's see if you could focus on that, $91.97 just for the paint. I also, by the way, I found out when I went to this company's website, I checked out the stores that they have, and as it happens, it's about 5 miles from my house, a place called Custom Paints, and they make the paint right there for you. It took 15 minutes. So I got the correct paint, and now I'm just waiting for the tour pack. Should be in before the end of the week. It's probably going to take me a day or so to sand that all down and prep it properly for the paint that I've now spent 92 bucks on. Not that I'm cheap, but you know, if you can get away with getting something to the auto parts store and it looks really good, why not do it? I did it once before, but this color, this impact blue, is a little more difficult to match. I couldn't find any other paint other than that peel coat that I got that was even close to this color. So I'll be sanding that down, I'll be masking it off, I'll be painting it, and hopefully it'll work out perfectly. If I can't screw up this paint job, because I'll lose $92 if I do, and I have to do it all over again, which I hate doing. When I was at the paint store, by the way, I'm speaking with a guy. He's got a beautiful custom painted car out front, and he gave me some great tips on use 800 grit sandpaper to sand it down. He said you don't have to put a pre-coat or anything like that on it. He said just sand it down good, get all the gloss off of the black, and then paint it. Give it at least 2 coats, which is why I have a total of 4 cans. So I figured 2 cans ought to do it, and we'll see how it works out. If I can, I'll try to film some of that for you. By far, I'm not an expert at painting, but I know enough to take my time and do it right. By the way, I took out the red and blue lights because it is illegal to have those on the road, and I have these flashing lights. I'll show you what these look like. They flash and they're clear color, so I wouldn't use them out on the road, but if I have to get somebody's attention. I bought these, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 years ago. I couldn't find them again on eBay or any place on the internet. The only ones I could find were from Wayland, and they want $600 for them. I think I paid something like $35 a piece for these, and I thought that was too much. But I took them off another bike, put them in here. Installation pretty straightforward. They give you a plug with it, but of course it's not the proper plug for the Harley. So that was just a few minutes spent on that. Works okay. Lights flash pretty good, get people's attention. I've got some more that I'm going to be mounting on the bottom of the tour pack. Smaller lights that will also flash. And that's about it for today. As soon as I do some more work, I'll get back on this. You seem to be enjoying this. I'm getting a lot of hits on this accessories to my 2019 Road King, so I'll keep going with it as long as you click on it. In fact, make sure you subscribe and click that little bell so every time I come out with a video, you'll be able to see it.